Arsenal got a very important 3 points to keep us top of the table and for us to keep our winning streak going since coming back from the international break. Winning 2-1 against Wolves, looking very good. And I said this in the post-match reaction that the score makes it look a lot closer than it was. It was realistically a very comfortable game for us, and I was expecting 4 or 5 based on how good we were playing and how comfortable we looked out there. But it is what it is. We made a little mistake and the game then got turned on its head and we kind of just had to see the game out. But thankfully that's what we did. We didn't slip up and we walk away with all 3 points. Now on to Luton on Tuesday. So in today's video, I'll be discussing with you guys my player ratings for the game. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Gunner Central here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. So the goalkeeper, David Raya, I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10. I don't think it was a surprise to anyone anymore that he was starting the game, and although he didn't really have much to do against Wolves, I think he made some really good saves when he needed to. Distribution was on point as always, and I know he did concede, but I mean, he couldn't have done anything but that Cunha strike was an absolute bullet. So I mean, on paper, I don't think he did really too much bad. I don't think he did enough for an 8 out of 10. Didn't have enough work to do for that, but I think a 7 out of 10 is fair. Now we'll go on to the defenders. We'll start off with the left back, Alexander Zinchenko, who up to that last 10 minutes was probably looking at an 8 out of 10 performance. Really good offensively, very good defensively, despite him getting tested a lot by the Wolves attackers. But that mistake, man, that really could have cost us. It didn't, thankfully, but it really could have. Just lackadaisical. You're 2-0 up. He just kind of loses concentration. Wolves steal the ball off him in the box and they get a goal from it. So I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. Had he not made that mistake, you're probably looking at an 8 or 7, but I'm gonna give him a 6 because that mistake really could have been costly. On to the two centre backs now, Saliba and Gabriel. I'm gonna give them both a 7 out of 10. They just kind of cruised through the game outside of the yellow card for Saliba. They really cruised through the game, looked very assured and very comfortable. And I know we did concede, like I said, and maybe you could have said Gabriel should have probably tried to press Cunha for that, but it is what it is. He just tried to block the shot. I'm going to give both a 7 out of 10. I think that's fair for them. On to the right back now, Tomiyasu. It was so upsetting to see Tommy go off injured. When he gets a run of games, he is arguably one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League. So it's really upsetting to see him pull up like that. It was a non-contact injury, which to me doesn't make me very comfortable. It was a right calf, apparently, is what the broadcast said, so we will see when the official report comes out. But onto the game, I think he was really good, as he has been recently. His passing is immaculate. His overlapping runs are really good. You have to put in some shift to basically knock Ben White out of the starting 11. Ben White is such a good player, so for Tomiyasu to be playing as well as he does, he thoroughly deserves the minutes he gets at the moment. I'm gonna give Tomiyasu an 8 out of 10 for the game. Onto the midfield now, we will start off with Declan Rice, and again, another Declan Rice game, another world-class performance from him. Outstanding, top to bottom. Defensively, he is a menace. When he has the ball, he looks almost impossible to stop. Almost scored from outside the box with a really good driven shot. So another world-class performance, no complaints from me. Declan Rice is easily now one of my favorite players for Arsenal. I'm gonna give Declan an 8 out of 10. Onto the other midfielders, Trossard, who I found it really weird, started over Havertz. I thought Havertz came in with really good form, back-to-back goals, so I was a little bit uneasy as to why Trossard was starting. Not that I don't rate Trossard, because I clearly do, but I just found it really weird that he would start over Havertz. But listen, this is why I'm not the manager. I thought Trossard was really good throughout the game, especially in that first 20 minutes. And one thing I've kind of questioned about Trossard recently is kind of his physicality in the midfield, but he showed against Wolves that he can win 50-50 balls, he can be physical with other midfielders, and I mean, he was just a menace as always offensively. I'm gonna give Trossard an 8 out of 10. On to the captain now, Martin Odegaard, who was absolutely superb against Lens, got a goal against Lens, and he did the exact same against Wolves. Really good performance, got himself a goal as well. I am thoroughly happy with his performance. He's looking back like the Martin Odegaard that we know, the creative genius, the workhorse when he's pressing. Absolutely superb game from Odegaard. 8 out of 10 for Odegaard. Onto the front three now. We'll start off with Bukayo Saka, the star boy. I thought he was really good. I thought Saka offensively was amazing, as he always has been. Obviously, he scored a goal, but defensively, when it's so many loose balls, he looked really good. He was hustling out there. I was very impressed by Saka all round, dribbling, passing, everything in the game. He looked really spot on with it, sharp as ever, and for me, he's my man of the match, and he's going to get an 8 out of 10. On to Gabby Jesus, who I thought did pretty well despite not scoring. He held up the ball beautifully, as he always tends to do. He was a handful for the Wolves defenders. He probably should have scored a couple times in the game, especially in that first half. But outside of that, I think he was really good. So I'm going to give Gabby Jesus a 7 out of 10. On to the last player in the starting 11, Gabriel Martinelli. One of Martinelli's more quiet games, but don't get it twisted. He had a really good performance. He had a good opportunity where he cut in on his right and he just hit the post. Had he scored, it would have been 3-0 and it would have been really comfortable for us. But I mean, he was superb. He tested Wolves defensively all the time. I'm going to give Gabby Martinelli a 7 out of 10. On to the substitutes now. We'll start off with Eddie Nketiah. I mean, Eddie did okay. He didn't really do much. I mean, I suppose he didn't really have much to do, but defensively he did try press when we had to hold on, so I give him credit where credit's due. I'm going to give Eddie Nketiah a 6 out of 10. On to Kai Havertz now. I thought Kai Havertz was actually very good. I thought he came on, he looked very good in midfield, winning headers as he always does, but he was winning 50-50 balls. He probably should have gone fouled, if you guys remember that chance where I think Trossard missed it, and then the ball had kind of come back out. Havertz wins it on the edge of the area, but he gets fouled in the process. The ref didn't give it. I thought that should have been a free kick. I thought Havertz was pretty good overall. I'm going to give Havertz a 6 out of 10 just because he didn't play enough to warrant a 7 or an 8. On to the next substitute in Ben White. And I thought Ben White was really good. I mean, it was unfortunate that Tomiyasu had to leave when he did. But Ben White coming on, he kept that flank down packed. Looked really good offensively, good overlapping runs. But defensively is where he made his money in the game. Helped the team hold on. And I mean, I remember the first passage of play with Ben White coming off the bench. Wolves whipped the ball in and Ben White immediately won a contested header to clear the ball. And I was like, yeah, he's on it, because I was a little bit nervous considering he had just come on. That is a 50-50 header you have to try and win to prevent a goal. He did it, and I'm sure a lot of you don't remember it, and that just shows how good his defending was. You don't remember those times. Now, Kivior and Jorginho, I'm not going to rate them. They weren't on long enough, but they both did their job and helped see the game out, so I'm not complaining. They just didn't have enough time to give them the rate. And then on to the manager, Mikel Arteta. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. It probably would have been an 8 had we won 2-0. But I think the fact that we made that little mistake, I know it's not him to blame, but we made that little mistake, even though we kind of saw as the game went on, Zinchenko started to make a little more mistakes as the game went on, but it's fine. 7 out of 10. We walk away with a 2-1 victory, stay top of the table, 3 points in the bag, got to rest some players. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Had we kept a clean sheet, it's an 8 out of 10. Now it's on to Luton Town on Tuesday. I'll have a preview video for that game coming up tomorrow, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about my ratings? Which ones do you agree with and which don't you agree with, and why? Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.